Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Cowboys 2018 season. We're going to do a quick reflection on it. Was it a success or was it a failure? This is serious. We're at Cap Mill time, and this is Big D, not Duke. For some of the people that think it's a Duke cap, just do that to yourself. I always have to explain that every time I wear this cap. I don't know why that is. But anyway, yesterday, a very emotional day. All right, no doubt about that. For all the fans, you gotta let it out. You gotta let it out. And I wanted these Cowboys to win it, man. I really did. So emotions are high. I'll tell it as it is. That's it. Some people don't like it. Some people don't like the opinions, but everything is an opinion at the end of the day. All right, everybody's comments, mine, whatever. But it is what it is. The Cowboys got knocked out by the Rams. It was almost a microcosm of the whole season. For me, the Cowboys were just in too many situations where you put it on Dak to come back from behind. Too many close games, too many games where you put it on him on the fourth quarter to win it. All right. Now, as far as the season itself, 2018 season, was it a failure or was it a success? It's really something that's it's a subject that you can have either or a mix of the two. So for me, I don't know if you can completely say it was a success. We didn't get to the ultimate goal. We did, however, get to the playoffs. All right, sitting at 3-5, we looked dead in the water. We were able to turn things around, and you do have to credit Jason Garrett in that turnaround and the front office. All right, because they made the moves. They made some moves. They knew that 3-5, the offense was stagnant. They tried to go cheap with Allen Hurns and with the rookie Michael Gallup and Deontay Thompson and these guys. That wasn't the answer. All right, so they went out there and got Amari Cooper, gave up the first round pick, which, looking at it now, we poked their eyes out. All right, we went like this. We poked the Raiders' eyes out, man, because if we had that first round pick, we'd be drafting number 27 overall. So if you look at it from the Cowboys' position, Amari Cooper's young. You get him with the 27th pick. You don't get that caliber of a wide receiver with the 27th pick. It's super rare. All right, super rare. So we got the better end of that deal. All right, we really did. He fits really good with what they do here. The silent assassin. Be wary of the quiet ones. All right, be wary of the quiet ones. So I really like Amari Cooper. And we're talking about the present here right now. So when the trade first happened, I wasn't really feeling the draft pick that we gave for him. Now, I like the player, but I wasn't really feeling the first round pick. But seeing what he did help really turn this team around. I would do it again. I would do it again, and I would be totally fine with the first round pick. We poked their eyes out. All right, we poked their eyes out. John Gruden, Chucky. All right, so that was very pivotal. That was a big part of the turnaround. And the offensive line, I feel like the change there with getting Paul Alexander out and elevating Colombo to the O-line coach. I think that was a start. I'm not so sure that they completely were able to turn it completely around. A lot of these players were beat up. Tyron Smith, what is the future for him? All right, just talking really quick here. Tyron Smith still under contract. You can't cut him this year. Next year is when the Cowboys have a club option to get out of that contract. So I think with Tyron Smith, you have him for another year. Could he be trade bait? Come around draft time if you want to, get a first round pick, possibly. The O-line for me is going to be something that really needs to be examined closely by the organization, Will McClay, all these guys, because it was clearly a weakness on this team, especially early on. And You know, they did some things towards the end of the season, but still, you know, they had some issues and that sort of thing. So that'll be something they need to look at. Left guard, Connor Williams, Travis Frederick. What's going to be the stats on him moving forward? Will he be back? Will he not be back? Xavier Su'a-Filo, do they keep him? Is he a long-term answer? I don't even know if he's a long-term answer. I think he's a good little fit there. But that left guard position has been something for us. We haven't been able to find a permanent fix there. We've messed with it for a while. Ronald Leary, Connor Williams, Xavier Su'a-Filo. We need something concrete there next to Tom Smith. The play of Lyle Collins kind of iffy as well. Penalties hounded him big time. Got beat a couple times. So for me, the offensive line needs to be looked at. You know, but back to the subject. Didn't mean to go off tangent there on the old line, but it is a big part of the success and failures of this team. 3-5. You started the season, just right there at Carolina Panthers. I felt like that game out the gate kind of set the tone. I thought that we were going to, have a better showing than we did. And, we didn't do it. The Giants, we won that. I'm just looking at the schedule here. Seattle Seahawks week 3. We took it on the chin there. Dak had some inaccuracy issues in that one. The O-line, was not doing good in that game. Detroit Lions, Ezekiel Elliott, was MVP in that one. Ran all over those guys. DeMarcus Lawrence had 3 sacks in that game. All right, so Houston, Cowboys went over there to Houston, went to OT. The whole thing, Jason Garrett decided to punt instead of going for it on 4th and 1. He probably would have taken that back. And that's where the receiving game was still struggling. So week 5, the Jacksonville Cowboys win that game. Offense looked back on track, but now looking at that game, how quality of a win was that? Jaguars weren't that good. And then, at Washington, struggled on the road again. Game-winning field goal was missed. We lost that game on a close one, OT. And then that's where we went into the bye week. We made that change. We made all those changes. So Cowboys turned around, but not before losing that first game there to the Titans, 28-14. We got beat up there. Turn around week 10, Eagles. We beat them. And then we go back to 4-5 in the division. Leighton Vander Esch, 13 tackles, interception. He really came on here towards the end of the season, especially after that bye week. Cowboys at Falcons, critical win there. Redskins, we beat them up 31-23. Amari Cooper torched those guys 180 yards. We sit there at 6-5 for the season. All right. The Saints, we take them out the following week, 13-10. Week 14, the Eagles, we beat them 29-23. And then that game where they kind of took it off. The Cowboys did take that game off. And this is something that I feel is definitely on the coaching staff. Championship teams do not do this. What the Cowboys did this season is not championship football. You don't start out 3-5, and expect to get to the Super Bowl. There's some discipline issues there, some confidence issues, scheme issues. I mean, there was just a lot going on there. The Bucks, that game, and then we got that momentum at the end of the season with the Giants. So. It's really one of those, at the beginning of the season, we were on that lose one, win one course, all right? And that just wasn't getting it done. And that was a good part of your season, was the win one, lose one, all right? So, Cowboys, for 2019, okay. Well, okay, let me say this. For this season, I'm going to say, you want to get to the playoffs, right? So that's success there. So did we win? We got past that wild card round, and we couldn't get it done again in the divisional round. So that was a big failure there. And just the way they played in that game, just a lot of things in that game. And like I said, in these playoffs, you can't have these mistakes, because those mistakes, they add up. and they accumulate for the overall loss. So you got a holding penalty here, you got a PI penalty here, you have, you know, the inability to convert here. I mean, it's just you just had a lot of things here that they didn't go your way, and the better team won. All right, and that's just the way I see it. All right, but moving forward, I think the Cowboys they do have a lot to look forward to. I mean, you've got a better offensive future, because you have Amari Cooper. You get a whole season of Amari Cooper. You're probably winning more games than earlier in the season with Amari Cooper. So, some of these games that were close, that we didn't have Cooper in early on in the season, we probably win those games, all right? Texans, Seahawks, we probably do a better showing than that. Panthers game, we probably would have won that. So, I think having a full season with Cooper, year 2 of Michael Gallup, all right? That's going to be huge for us. Michael Gallup, I think, is a really nice piece to the puzzle here for the wide receivers. Now, what do they do with the slot position? Does Beasley come back? Do they do something in the free agency? What do they do there? All right, so we'll see what happens there. But I feel really good about Cooper and Gallup there. All right, tight end, Blake Jarwin, was it a flash in the pan? Or is he somebody that you can, finally count on there? All right. I feel like you probably need to add somebody else there. Jeff Swain will be a free agent, can't stay healthy. Do they give him some kind of minimal deal to bring him back? We'll see what happens there. But I still feel like you got to add somebody there. All right. Rico Gallers, the experiment's over. All right. They're moving on from that. The defense, I think, is really bright. You have Leighton Vander Esch and Jaden Smith. Those are the two guys there. Sean Lee, does he come back? What happens there? And then you have your Sam linebacker, what do you call it? Damon Wilson. He's going to hit free agency. He'll probably bolt out of here. So, you're probably going to have to add some more depth there at linebacker. Get another guy that can tackle really well. This team needs more tacklers that can tackle. Probably need another edge rusher, all right? I wouldn't put all your eggs in a basket on Randy Gregory. Can he make it through the offseason and be somebody there for us? You don't know that. So I think you got to get another guy in rotation. Tucker Charlton, I thought he looked good earlier in the season, preseason. He kind of just disappeared. That's disappointing for me because I was really high on Taco. So what do they do there? I think with some of those issues, you're kind of compelled to add another rusher there. Dorrance, I think, is a good rotational guy. Defensive tackle, I think we got exposed there. Do they change their philosophy there? Do you get a bigger, beefier one tech? I love Antoine Woods. That's my boy there. I love him to death. I think he's a really good piece to the puzzle and a good rotational guy. But I think you need to get bigger there for situations like this. All right, you gotta draft to win your division, but then you also got to keep in mind, when you get to the playoffs, we weren't ready there. The Rams shredded us with C.J. Anderson, and we didn't have an answer. And then Gurley on top of it. It was embarrassing. All right, so that'll be an area to look at. Safety. All right, I'm gonna call it right now. For me, right now, as we sit here today, looking at how the season went and how the playoffs went, I think we need to get better at safety. Xavier Woods and those are nice stories. All right, they really are. I was really high on Xavier Woods during the draft. I still like the player a lot, but if you can improve one of those guys with either Earl Thomas or Landon Collins, who will be a free agent, if the Giants don't franchise tag him, those are guys you need to really consider in here. You probably need a little bit more leadership there, somebody that's familiar with Chris Richard's schemes. So keep that going there. Wherever you can improve, you can improve. All right, and that's just what it is. If you want to look forward to getting another cornerback, maybe that's one. But, we're drafting in the second round. So these picks are going to be more critical than ever, especially if they're not going to be big players in free agency. For the Cowboys, your free agent is going to be DeMarcus Lawrence, all right? And do you franchise tag him again? Do you feel good about giving him a big contract? What kind of contract are you looking at giving him? All right, you got Byron Jones on the 5th-year option. He did well during the regular season. Postseason, kind of hit and miss with this play. but definitely did a lot better there, going from safety to cornerback. Now, do the Cowboys want to pay him? We'll see. But you do have him on the 5th-year option. Cowboys might be able to get away with playing one more year with him and then drafting somebody or adding another player in free agency. But I feel good about the 2019 season, guys. Just need to add a couple pieces here and there. Scott Linehan does have to go, though. If you bring him back, this is going to be another dark cloud over the offense again, especially if they start out slow and start struggling again. It's going to be a distraction. So for me, get somebody in here fresh, somebody that can, that this offense can be tailor-made around Dak Prescott, all right? I love Dak Prescott's ability to be clutch, but we can't keep having games like this throughout the season where you're keeping it close, and you're hoping Dak can use his magic to win the game at the end, all right? We need to be more explosive on offense, all right, where we don't have to, be, that kind of shit. It's, where your heart's pumping here and you're eating all your freaking nails, hoping that Dak can do the comeback, all right? We need to get out of that. Be more explosive on offense. So get somebody here that can be a little bit more, just something fresh. You can't keep going with Linehan, all right? There's guys that support him, and I don't know how or why. 2019 season, I think, looks very promising, but they got to clean up a lot of stuff, all right? So hopefully they get it right on the as far as the offense goes. Defense, they gotta really ensure that they don't go down this path again where they're good and then they kind of crap it up during getting shredded for almost 300 yards rushing. So I think to avoid that, gotta get better coaching out of the coaches, and you do need some improvements there on defense. All right, so we'll talk about a lot of this here in the coming days and weeks. Got a lot of good information set on deck that's going to be rolling out for you guys. I got a couple of upgrades that are coming out as well. I think you guys will really enjoy. But that's it, guys. That's it for the season. I really enjoyed everything we did with draft coverage. I feel really proud about the draft coverage we did for this season. The NFL draft was a lot of fun. Met a lot of fun people out there. All you guys I met in person. Shout out to all you guys. And fellow YouTubers that I met out there. It was great hanging out with every single one of you out there at the draft. That was fun. And going on this, this journey. It was a big journey, going from training camp, mini camp, training camp, preseason, the regular season, the highs and lows, the excitement, the disappointment. Everything was good, all right? It wasn't, we didn't get the final outcome of getting to the Super Bowl, but we did make it to the playoffs. So there's some good to take from that. But that's all I have right now, guys. Continue to like that video here. Like this video. It really does help the channel. And continue to subscribe and hit that share button. We'll see you for the next video. Thanks, guys. Peace.